Find Your Beach listeners, before we get to the episode, we want to take a moment to address the June 24th Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. This decision, if you didn't already know, stripped away the legal right to have a safe and legal abortion in several states. Restricting access to comprehensive reproductive care, including abortion, threatens the health and independence of all Americans. This decision could also lead to the loss of other rights. To learn what you can do to help, go to podvoices.help. We encourage you to speak up, take care, and spread the word.
Whoa. Bummer way to start the pod, babe.
Sorry,
Jeez.
Didn't
think you'd be the one that would have an agenda all of a sudden. JK, we support that shit. Also, real quiet from the anti-vaxxer front. You notice that? Mm-hmm. Not a lot of keep the government's hands off my body.
Right.
When it comes to reproductive health.
Well, we've just gotten into a cycle of gaslighting, and that's sort of what we do now, is like if you stood for, and if you were an anti-vaxxer and the Supreme Court overturns Roe versus Wade, you know, instead of sort of addressing your own, what is it called?
Biases?
No, flipping back and forth. What's the fucking word?
Oscillating.
No, not hypochondriac. When somebody believes one thing and believes the other thing, and they conflict.
Conflicting views.
Jesus Christ, no.
Hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
Okay.
Thank you. Instead of...
If you guys want to play the most violent game of charades, come to our house.
Instead of addressing your own hypocrisy, you go, well, I didn't hear much from these women when we were saying we didn't want you know what I mean? And so it just doesn't, you know, it's just we're in a cycle of abuse with each other. That's essentially what's going on.
Yeah.
But it is surprising to me. I'm not hearing a ton of men speaking up about it. I know that there are men speaking up about it, and I'm glad that there are. I wish that more would. That's all. I wish that. So if you are a man and you listen to this podcast, you know that it takes two to get pregnant.
Yeah.
And,
if you be nuttin'.
Yeah, and get out there and share the wealth.
Yeah, share the wealth.
I don't know what that
Give
means.
your money to abortion rights causes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to turn off the AC. It's pretty loud.
Oh, is it? Okay, sorry. Sorry about that, guys. We are really, really struggling today. But it is a holiday weekend. We're not celebrating.
No.
Because I refuse to now. I read this news yesterday that there was a 10-year-old girl that was raped and could not get access to an abortion in Ohio, and was told that it is an opportunity.
By the judge, right?
I'm not sure. I don't
somebody
remember that.
in Ohio. I mean, first of all, bummer to be in Ohio. Add all those other things.
Bummer to be raped, but bummer to be raped in Ohio.
I wasn't gonna say that. Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's weird. It's like we live in cities. Most of us, like, you know, we're living in these cities.
Most of us.
Or we're living in like
not necessarily most of us, but
cool towns at least. I don't know. It seems like probably most of our fan base lives someplace decent that we would want to visit, you know?
Yeah.
And then stuff is happening in the government where you're like, what year are you in? Because in the cities, we have electric scooters that are one wheel, and like a blonde black trans man is, you know, talking about Bitcoin while he's going down the street, and we're drinking charcoal juice.
Don't tell the people in Ohio that, because that's like their worst nightmare.
Well, what I'm saying is I live in the future.
Yeah.
And then there's people that are literally like, we gotta get back to the founding fathers. And it's like,
well, that's the thing. It's like there's going to be a civil war, and I'm going to strap myself in metal, and I'm going to run as fast as I can into the first burning building I see, and pour gasoline all over myself. Mm-hmm. That's the plan.
That's my girl.
Mm-hmm. going to make it even hotter by surrounding, you know what I mean? People are going to think, oh wow, look at her, she's ready for battle. No, I'm not. I'm trying to make my death more painful.
I do think that it's going to take a big action, and I'm not encouraging this, but if like a real bookish kind of Oberlin girl, Sarah Lawrence College, sets themselves on fire on the steps of the Supreme Court, probably going to move the needle a little bit. Just, throwing that out there.
Why does it have to be a woman? Why would a woman do that?
Because it's just, I don't want to volunteer a guy, because that's kind of like putting ourselves, in
harm's way.
It's white knighting, and I don't want to do that.
You don't want to virtue signal.
Yeah, I don't want to take away your guys' fight.
Well, how about this? How about we get pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
go to the top of the stairs,
yeah,
you throw me down the stairs, and I abort on the steps of the Supreme Court.
Great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. We should just have just a bunch of women go outside of Amy Coney Barrett's house, and we'll get the actor from the Che show to just jump kick them in the stomach.
Mm-hmm. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Great sketch.
I think honestly that was a great sketch. I think that was Khalees Hawkins.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am still talking about this. It's when the news dropped, I was like, you know what sucks is they're gonna talk about this for maybe a weekend, and then people are just gonna fucking forget about it, and I can't forget about it. I keep thinking about it over and over and over again, and my mind won't let go of it. It's like stuck in there, and I keep thinking about all the women who have sacrificed so much to have kids, and now they are stuck in this world, right? And I'm like, should we all just get our fucking uterus removed? Should we all just go get our uterus removed now so that we can stop giving them children?
Yeah, I mean...
Should I feed my eggs to the dog?
Well, that would be a very expensive procedure, and I don't, what's the over-under that Mouse tries one egg, and she's like, and then we've spent tens of thousands of dollars to do kind of a performative snack.
Maybe we could learn to do it at home,
Yeah.
Maybe we could do some sort of just get like a Dyson of some kind.
We should buy...
With like a cylindrical...
Yeah. Dyson, Mr.
nozzle.
Dyson, if you're out there, this is your time for your next invention.
Yeah, you did the hair straightener, you did the hair wave.
Airwave.
Yeah, and now, there's also the hair wave that does waves.
Really?
With Dyson, yeah.
Wow.
So, next frontier.
The uterus.
Home abortions.
The uterus cyclone.
Uterus cyclone.
Yeah. He doesn't really use like weathery kind of, that's more of a Shark brand.
Yeah, you're right.
It would be sleek though, and it would be rechargeable. Mm-hmm. No, it's very weird. Like, obviously, the Supreme Court is on one right now, and this was the Republicans' dream. This was like their whole plan was to do this. And I don't really care if you're a conservative and you listen to this. I'm not trying to like attack you. But this is like, you believe in small government, you believe in kind of libertarian values, and they're doing a lot of stuff that's contradictory, and it's all like, they're really getting into people's lives now.
I heard a story about someone who this past weekend she lives in New Orleans, and she couldn't get an abortion, right? And she wanted to get an abortion for her own personal reasons, and I don't give a fuck if it was for fun. But she couldn't get one in Louisiana, so she had to go to somewhere else. She had to go to a neighboring state. And the way that they did it was, even there in this neighboring state, was like she had to look at the ultrasound, and then she was given the pill, and they had to take the first pill all together. Every woman that had been in there at that time had to take the first pill together in a circle. Didn't have water. Like, they didn't have water for the women to take the pill with. And then she had brought her own water, so she shared her water. And and then was sent home, and they were like, take the second pill tomorrow. And she was like, what time tomorrow? And they were like, tomorrow. They didn't give her any kind of guidance. It's like, tell them what time they're supposed to fucking take it. It's all this kind of shit where it's like, I don't understand it. If a man wants to get his tubes tied, he goes in and gets them fucking tied.
And also
Not tubes tied. Is that what it's called when men get their
vasectomy?
Vasectomy? Yeah.
Or also, I mean, like Viagra is the number one selling drug in America.
Right.
And God made it so that you couldn't shoot your load at a certain age because you were weak. Mm-hmm. And now that's not the case, and they have no problem with that. No problem with the boner pills.
No problem at all. I mean, God forbid a rapist can't get it up one day.
Yeah, and did you know that they made it so that you can conceal carry in New York? That was another one that the Supreme Court did. And then they took away the EPA's ability to stop companies from emitting noxious, poisons into the air.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, at this point, I'm done with like any kind of moderates. I'm kind of like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like the Democrats, I'm literally, I've always found AOC to be pretty fucking obnoxious, and ineffective. But now I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. She's actually got a backbone. And we've got Biden over here falling off a bike.
Yeah. Fell off a bike right over,
fell off a bike, not even getting off the bike. Not even while it was moving.
Yeah.
He had both feet on the ground. What happened was, Biden didn't fall off a bike. He fell on a bike. He was on the bike, had both his feet on the ground. If the bike wasn't there, he still would have fallen.
Yep. For a second, he thought he was on the bike. He goes, I'm on my soul cycle. I'm in my exercise room.
What happened is his legs gave out. He wasn't trying to dismount or get on the bike or even, it was crazy to watch. I watched it probably 17 times. I laughed the entire time. But anyway, we got a really ineffective fucking president. And listen, we had to do what we had to do to get Trump out of office. But
well, I think the most important thing
crazy
is that we live in this culture of like cringe, So like everybody's like afraid to like have a strong opinion now because they might be like, like even me, when I get on my pulpit about the environment, people are like, shut up, Andy. Nobody gives a shit.
Right.
But the problem is that we've created this irony poisoned culture where everybody, like literally I could be on fire and somebody's being like, need attention much?
Right, yeah.
And we got to stop that. And you got to give money to these baby killers. You got to give money to the baby killers. Yeah. And to the hoes.
We read that ad at the beginning of the podcast. What was it? I mean, I know that I just read it.
Yeah.
Without even looking into it. But can we real quick, just so I know what the fuck we read?
It's podvoices.help. This is a cross platform action. We are not being paid to give this. It's a voluntary situation that ATC, our network, passed on to us. So podcasts on the ATC network and other podcasts around the country world are just kind of putting out this message.
Can you go to the thing? Podvoices.help.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking for.
This is my wife right now being like, wait a second, is this a scam?
That's 100% what I'm like, well, I just want to know what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Abortion advocacy links. It's just aggregating places where you can learn more about
resources.
It looks pretty bare bones as far as like, I don't think there's an agenda or anything like that or a big parent company.
It's basically just a bunch of links that lead you to resources to either educate or give you somewhere to go for help if you are in a state that doesn't.
And also, I think very specifically, because I know we have a lot of female listeners, and I think we have a lot of female listeners who will not have access to abortions. So plancpills.org/ambassadors is where you can get the abortion pill mailed to you safely, and it has instructions. And I think that when you do, you can speak with a healthcare professional so that you aren't alone when you take that. But it's just a nightmare. I was like, when Clarence Thomas said that he was like thinking about going after gay rights and contraception next, I was like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
We did talk about this on the Patreon episode this week, which if you are still a Patreon member, I know we had a couple of people that left the Patreon when we announced that we are going to be taking a break, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
But you did miss a really fun episode. We had a call from Tim Dillon on Friday, and we chatted with him about our plan for the afterworld.
The Seer of Southampton. The
Seer of Southampton?
Yeah.
The People's President, I believe is what I call him.
People's President.
So if you haven't checked out the Patreon episode and you're a Patreon member, go to that. And we are still talking about when and if we are going to come back after this break. We're going to have an announcement for you guys before we do our last episode, which is in Montreal, the week of July 25th through the 31st. At Just for Laughs Festival. We're going to be doing that episode live, and we will announce for you whether or not we are going to be coming back and what our plan is.
We'll let you know. I think we'll.
The last podcast I did that I ended with like a break.
Yeah.
I was like, we may come back, we may not. And then we ended up not coming back, but I kept getting messages about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, next time, if I decide to end a podcast, I'm going to either end it or give them a date, you know?
Yeah, I think that we want to still do this, but we need to see we need to take a break from a bunch of shit. And then like after the dust settles and we kind of see what next year's schedule looks like, then we can kind of go.
Just gonna reorganize.
What does this look like so that we can be good at it?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, this weekend, Rosebud was so gracious as to recommend me to open for Whitney Cummings. And I got to go out to the Hamptons and perform and live the high life. Mm-hmm. Live like a star like my wife.
Surrounded by wealth.
Although it's weird because the Hamptons like are still Long Island, and unless you kind of really get out there, there's still like kind of the sunburned New Yorker being like, that's how much they're charging for ice cream these days. There's a lot of that. Yeah. And then just all like, just gauche kind of like, I don't know if where I was it was West Hampton, and I think you might need to go a little farther east to get to kind of the acai bowls.
Probably.
That's where I draw the line. I go, okay, are we serving acai bowls? All right, we're in a nice place.
Really?
Yeah, I look for a couple things. I look for kind of like a place that sells like modern furniture that is way overpriced. Maybe a gallery.
Yeah,
that isn't nautically themed. If I go into a gallery and it's just like, look at this painting of a dock.
If it's a gallery where you can tell that one of the artists is just hanging out.
Yeah.
Like talking to the owner. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between a gallery where they sell gifts for your mom and a gallery where they sell what would be considered an asset after you die.
Yeah. Or like like if there's like a Talbot's outlet, it's like, keep on going east. Let's
keep it moving.
Get on the road. But really fun. And then I got to go to Whitney's brother's house. She's got all these like family members that live all over the world, and they just have a house in the Hamptons. Yeah. And it was nice. We hung out with Tim and Ben Avery is his producer, who I've known for a long time, really good guy. Yeah. And one of her assistants, Emily. It was great.
I love Emily.
I'm into it. Let's start hanging out with the wealthy. Let's stop hanging out with these losers with their apartments.
Well, Whitney said that you did great, and she said that she hoped that she didn't scare you off. And I said, that's impossible. He loves to be surrounded by wealth.
Yeah.
I know he had the time of his life.
She also took a picture with her nipple in it.
Yes, she did. She sent me a picture of you dissociated in the background, and her with her nipple at the camera.
Yeah.
So I got a nip pic, and Andy is in the background looking like he's in a Russian prison.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like how many plastic bottles there are in the world. You know, where are they right now?
Yeah, you look so dissociated.
Yeah.
And I will be sending that picture to our editor Josh so that he can put that in the clip.
Well, why don't you paint over Whitney's tit?
Okay, like it matters, but yes,
Who
fine.
knows? Josh might be a Quaker, you know? He could be a Quaker.
Yeah, we'll put a little fucking emoji over Whitney's nipple.
Great.
Okay?
Even though I'm sure, you know, there's a lot of pictures out there of her nipple, I don't want to be the one to send the, you know, what if it's a new nipple?
The one.
Yeah.
Right, but you had fun and you did great.
Yeah.
And then you got to hang out late and talk, and I got sent a picture of you on a nice linen couch with a sort of a pink wool blanket draped over your shoulders, like you were talking about the state of the world and Maya Angelou.
Yep.
And it just felt very classy.
I didn't realize that it got cold out there at night.
You didn't?
I was just in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
They don't have the humidity because it's so close to the ocean.
Well, also they do control the weather.
Yeah, they do have that that weather control.
Yeah. It's the rich that control the weather, you guys. Okay, it's not. Don't put it on the Jews.
Yeah, or the government.
It's the wealthy.
Yeah, there is no government controlling this.
Do you remember when we went to go visit my dad and stepmom in Gibson Island, and she said, "Oh, there's a giant storm today," and I said, "Oh no, around what time?" I was going to go lay out, and she said, "Oh, it never comes over here. We don't get hit with storms." And I went, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, they never come over the island."
And then she winked, and you heard a little sound effect, like a bling.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Oh, okay. We live in a false reality." Mm-hmm. And then the entire Keebler Elves crew just kind of walked through the kitchen. And
the what?
Keebler Elves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was weird.
That was a little weird. Yeah.
So.
Anyways.
Maybe nobody's gonna miss us. Maybe everybody's like, yeah, it's about time. When you get to the 23-minute mark and you're like, so what else?
No, I just wanted to give it a pause after you mentioned the Keebler Elves.
Yeah. You have so much hair.
You have so little.
I knew you were gonna say something mean.
Well, I was going to because what you said, it seemed like you were accusing me.
Of having so much hair.
Yes.
Andy accused me of having so much hair.
Yeah.
I will not stand for this.
It's true though. There's just strands of my hair all over this apartment. I never have to worry about, like, when I'm on the road, if I get murdered, my DNA's everywhere. All right? It's going to be everywhere. Just strands of blonde hair. Every time I hug a black guy with a beard, I have to pull my hair out of his beard.
That sounds kind of suspicious.
Okay, no, it doesn't.
Just hugging a lot of guys with beards, I guess. Okay. I've seen the accounts you follow on Instagram, all right?
Who?
Black guys with beards.
Specifically, black guys with beards I'd like to fuck.
Yeah, that's a good account.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll reach in my pocket of my clothes and your hair will come out.
That's because that's different because I'm putting little bunches of my hair in your pockets.
Little hair dolls.
Yeah, I'm sort of taking the strands out, rolling them up in a ball, and then putting them in your pockets and being like, he's gonna think this is cute.
Yeah, little Blair Witch kind of
voodoo dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the totems would be maybe an anthropological.
Just little voodoo dolls with bangs, and they take a long time to make. So I'm surprised it's taken. I mean, we've been married, 2 years? Almost 3? And we've been together 3 years, and this is the first time you've mentioned them.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cute. So by the time this comes out, I will have 1 week left of my 30s. which is kind of a lot to think about.
Yeah.
What do you think I should do for this last week of my 30s? Is there anything?
Well, is there anything that you wanted to do in your 30s that you haven't done?
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
Okay.
buy a house, sell a movie,
Okay.
act in a sitcom.
Okay, so I guess we got to do all of those.
Yeah, we got a busy week.
We got a really busy week ahead of us. We got to buy a house, we got to
Sell a
movie, and you have to star in a sitcom.
Yeah. Plus, I already have all my work that I already have to do, you know? So it's
Right.
It's going to be a busy one.
Yeah. God.
By the time my weekend comes around, it's going to be like...
You're going to need a vacation.
Yeah. This is exactly what I needed. I have had a very busy week.
Right. So if anybody has any ideas for like sitcoms Andy would star in,
Yeah.
send them our way.
Yeah, if you're a casting director and you guys are shooting this next week.
Yeah, just text them to us at 917-540-8395. Any movies, sitcom ideas, if you got a house you're trying to get off your hands, you know, we could use all the help we can get because honestly, these are big goals and I'm not saying they're not achievable, but we got 1 week. So this is like Independence Day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We just watched Independence Day.
Yeah.
Welcome to Earth, you son of a bitch. Speaking of buying houses, I texted you yesterday. I said we should buy a house in Portugal or someplace close that is different.
Yes.
And you were surprisingly on board with that.
Yeah.
I was very surprised. It was kind of refreshing. I would like to have a little escape to another country.
Yeah.
I think we need to, like Tim was talking about on the Patreon episode, we really do need to start looking in for options for
my
golden
thought was
passports.
though? My first thought was about the Portugal thing. Is I was like, we got to make sure that this is a country where, like, if there's a natural disaster, that there will be aid.
Yeah, I think Portugal's up there. I mean, they're definitely like one of the less abundant countries, but that's kind of like I still think they have, you know, top tier healthcare and things like that.
They do,
It's not like
yeah.
we're going to the third world or something. I mean, obviously I would prefer to go to like England, you know, Lake District,
Why?
Cornwall.
That's boring.
I know it's a little
If you go to
boring.
England, you might as well just own a house here. If you want to get a house in Portugal, you get a house in fucking Portugal.
Okay.
You know?
You haven't been to Cornwall.
No, I haven't, but I don't need to. I haven't. People don't come back from Cornwall being like, you gotta go to Cornwall.
Tim did. I was talking to him about it the other day.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how sick I am of people taking advice from Tim Dillon. Okay?
Well, I'm sorry that I'm taking his class right now, Money Mindset, and I've just learned a lot about
it's always
ideas
like
of wealth.
Andy Haynes and Mike Feeney just quoting Tim to me.
No,
And I'm like, listen,
don't put me in the
I
Feeney
admire
camp.
Tim.
I would never
very
take
much.
that many pictures of myself in Greece. I would never do that. I would never do that to you.
Congratulations, by the way, to Mike Feeney and his wife, Erica. They are pregnant.
I know, and they also were in like seemingly one of the most gorgeous places in the world.
I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was like, what's he doing?
I know.
Literally, like, what's their podcast must be doing pretty well. That's a fucking nice room, dude.
It's great.
We got to do one of those.
Yeah. Let's do a baby moon without a baby. You know what we should do? We'll do our embryo freezing.
And then we'll do a
And
baby
then we'll
moon.
do a baby moon.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
We've already talked about maybe during one of your breaks going to Jackson.
Yeah.
Jackson's-
But I want to go like
You want to go to Rome.
a nice.
Yeah.
I want to go to Italy.
Yeah.
I want to go to Florence so bad. That's my favorite place in the world is Florence. I've also never been to I have been to Tuscany, but like not really.
Okay.
You know? So
I have
I'd
family
love to go to
friends in Tuscany.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
My godparents.
Oh cool.
They're there right now. They spend every summer in Tuscany.
Amazing.
They're artists.
All right.
So take that. So how about you take that
To the bank.
to the bank?
I will.
Did you hear monkeypox is getting worse?
I didn't, but that's not surprising, and I also don't give a shit because everything's getting worse. Monkeypox is the least of our worries. If monkeypox spreads globally in the next 24 hours, I think it's actually, you're doing us a favor.
I just
Take us.
I think it's like if we're living in a false reality, like some kind of Matrix situation, the monkeypox was like a real jump the shark moment for the writers. You know, it's like we've got like we're months away from a civil war. Our economy is in just free fall.
We're doing forced pregnancy,
we're
forced labor.
We're basically kind of making The Handmaid's Tale reality.
Yeah.
Or at least on our way.
If you put some of this shit in The Handmaid's Tale, they'd be like, all right, it's a little on the nose, don't you think?
Yeah, if you were watching Handmaid's Tale and then the lady was like, oh, and also be careful for monkeypox, you'd be like, monkeypox?
What?
What the fuck? I thought this was bad enough. Wasn't this bad enough already? You had to add monkeypox?
What the fuck?
Just some weird guy that read too much like conservative philosophy when he was like 24.
Yeah.
And now he believes that he should always have a gun on him and that women should like bake every day. And then on top of that, that guy is also, he's got monkeypox?
He's spreading monkeypox. You know, I'm gonna get a gun and I'm gonna shoot myself in the pussy.
Okay, well is there a way you could miss the pussy and just kind of hit the ovary or something like that?
Well, yeah, I could just stick it all the way inside, but here's the thing.
No, this sounds bad. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think
what do
this,
you mean?
because it's the angle, it's gonna hit your spine, some internal organs. You're not gonna walk away from this. If
Babe,
you're gonna
I don't plan on walking away from it. It's a statement. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you're gonna kill yourself.
I'm gonna give concealed carry a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna carry a gun around inside my pussy, and then I'm gonna walk into a doctor's office and I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm pregnant and I need an abortion. And he's gonna be like, no. And I'm gonna be like, no? And he's gonna be like, no. And then I'm gonna do one Kegel and it's gonna pull the trigger. And I'm gonna fucking blow up from the inside.
I do think that I think you're on the right track. Okay.
Yeah.
See, here's what I think. I think, yeah, you should have some kind of bomb.
Yeah.
Kegel detonated.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't have to sneeze before you get on that examination table.
Okay, yeah.
And you go to one of those crisis centers where you're like, I need an abortion. And they're like, well, first let's talk about the Bible. And you're like, how about we do that inspection first? And then they get you up on that table and you squeeze the Kegels and a little flag pops out and it says, gotcha. And then you explode.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound good?
That sounds great. She's gonna be like, okay, now relax. And I'll be like, actually, hold on, I need to sneeze. Achoo! And it's gonna go, gotcha!
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. What a
Yeah.
great ending. All right, folks. That's what we got for you for this week.
We're a little...
It's a real abortion-themed episode. And
yeah, one more time, if you guys did not remember, I think it's
podvoices.help. Go to podvoices.help for resources, links, and pills to kill your babies.
And let's not say kill your babies. Let's say this: go to get a group of cells that is growing in your abdomen removed.
Yeah,
it's not a baby; it's a group of cells.
That part's up for debate. I don't give a shit. I don't care what you think of it as. If you want to get rid of it, even if you want to get rid of it recreationally, go for it.
Evict your subletters. Evict your subletters. Be the kind of landlord they'd be.
Okay, we love you. Wash your hands. Don't lick your lover's eyeballs. Don't spit in their mouths unless it's a committed, monogamous relationship. Bye.